the sight of the clash we have in store for you today. Today, a showdown of a couple of foes from the Sun Belt. On the run from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. So the Raging Cajuns offense will get the first possession of the game. And David, their quarterback hasn't always blown you away statistically, but he is a guy that the coaches trust.
Yeah, and he'll show you some flashes of why you should trust him, Reese. But here's the thing. This is not a guy that we're saying, go win me the football game. That's not where he's at right now.
And the Heat gets there, and they get him down at the 14-yard line.
And the defense comes out on the very first play of the game on the road, and they bring the energy, and they get the sack. They came into this one on fire, ready to go, and that is a statement early.
The Raging Cajuns trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. To throw, it's Howard. Finds his man, it's Sampson. He's brought down quickly, minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down.
Hey, listen, on offense, just take what the defense gives you. Quarterback looks out wide, he sees the DB way off of the receiver. Throw him the easy hitch pass, you'll take that completion.
Not exactly the ideal situation for this offense. 3rd and long, backed up inside their 20. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Here comes the Heat. Looking deep. Oh, right through his hand. They came out attacking, wanted to impose their will, and they missed a big chance on that one.
Well, it's a great job by the back end of the defense that time, making up for what the front end of the defense couldn't do. The quarterback had all day to throw that ball, but it was the hit in coverage that forces the incompletion.
And the Raging Cajuns send out the punt unit. Getting our first look of the afternoon at the punter. Fair catch is brought in at the 43, and they are set up nicely. So the Texas State Bobcats offense will go to work for the first time today. And, David, they've got a guy in the backfield that certainly is capable of carrying more than his share of the weight in this offensive attack.
Yeah, he's a piece, but I would argue this, Reese. Like, you need to get the ground game going. For this offense to be successful, they need a physical tone setter, and he can be that, sometimes up, sometimes down. They need that consistently, Jesse.
They need him to show up when it matters the most, and there's going to be times in this game like we've seen throughout his career when the defense wants to take away wide receivers or players on the perimeter, and that's when this guy has to show up and shine. He's got vision, he's got cutting ability, he's got speed, but that's got to be on display in this game.
He leaves it with his back. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
You definitely want to commit to the run game. You want to establish the run game. You want the defense to honor it. But if it doesn't work a little later down the road, you might think about airing that puppy out.
Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Caught in the backfield. It's Smith across the 25. Perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle at the 17.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
And the Bobcats will snap it on 1st and 10. From the gun, the ground game. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Boy, there wasn't much room to wiggle for that running back there.
None at all. Great job by the defense getting in the backfield quickly, closing up all the holes, nowhere to run.
As they get set to snap it, time winding down here in the quarter. The give to the tailback. And he's able to pick up a few yards as we reach the end of the first quarter. Defense has dominated the early part of this game, and the stats point that out emphatically. Well, based on that, we can hope to see a little more offensive explosion here in the second quarter as we get ready to get things started. This this offense had a little extra time to think about it. Let's see what they have on third down. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Texas State.
This running back was not going to be denied. Nice blocking up front to create a hole for this running back, and he was able to take advantage.
Getting ready for the extra point after the first score of the game. And the extra point is good, and it's 7-0. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. And what a way to finish it with a 9-yard touchdown run. They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Couldn't find a way to create that broken field as he stopped at the 25. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Unloads to the wideout. Complete in the middle. They've got him down at the 40 after he ripped off 15 yards.
Zone coverage means everybody's looking at the quarterback. So now, when I'm a wide receiver, I got to make sure I know I fit in the hole between these zones. I know where they're dropping to, and I know where I need to get to. Great job by the wide receiver finding that hole and the quarterback throwing a strike.
Looking for a deep man. Makes a catch at the 15. Ripping off a huge chunk of yardage, and he's got it just outside the 10 at the 11.
This quarterback has found a really nice rhythm here on this drive. He just looks dialed in. He's doing a great job in the pre-snap, seeing the safety rotation, and that time saw the one-on-one matchup to take a shot, and he hit it. He's in a really, really nice groove right now.
They've got this defense reeling after that last play. Now it's 1st and 10 inside the 15. Use the play fake, now to throw. He's got it on the run, and he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Louisiana.
I was so excited for this game because I just knew it was going to be a back-and-forth battle, and that's what we've seen here. Great job by the quarterback, good decision, reading the coverage, accurate throw. They get the extra point. This thing is all knotted up.
Extra point here will tie the game. And the extra point is good. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. And they finish it with an 11-yard touchdown dart. They're set to kick it off. Do you think this crowd's going to get loud when their defense comes on the field? From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Quick release by the QB. They'll mark him out of bounds at about the 29-yard line.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
The Bobcats come to the line. This situation, you might see a shot play. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. He'll get a fresh set of downs, stopped at the 31-yard line.
Well, they needed 2 yards for that first down. The running back doing just enough to make sure he keeps this drive alive.
It's 1st and 10 from the 31. Jackson will throw. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And they don't drag him down until he gets all the way to the 46-yard line.
Great job by the quarterback throwing against zone coverage. You cannot telegraph where you're throwing the football. You cannot eyeball wide receivers. So great job by the quarterback using his eyes, not staring down his guy, and then throwing him open.
The throw. Makes the grab. He stopped just a chain link or two away from the first down and sets them up beautifully here.
Nice job by the receiver on the in route there. And how about the speed? After he made his break, he was able to actually separate a little bit from the DB, helping out his QB on that one.
And the Bobcats have their whole playbook open here on 2nd and inches. Throws for the tight end. Got it in the middle, it's Smith. He's finally stopped and brought down at the 15. The offense will quickly use a timeout. The Bobcats had tough field position to start this drive, but they've been relentless in moving the ball methodically down the field. Now the connection takes it to the 11. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Wants to throw. He's working against the clock. He's got it on the move. Gets it inside the 5, down to the 4, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And these quarterbacks have to really trust their wide receivers that they're going to be disciplined and run to the right route when they're throwing that ball to the outside like that, because those corners are sitting there on the inside, and the worst thing that could happen is to miss inside and that cornerback be going the other direction.
From the gun. Under fire. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Jackson gonna throw it. Looking to get it in. Touchdown, Texas State. They wanted to finish, and that they did on that possession.
And I just love the execution by this offense. Late in the half, man, you want to take the lead. You want to get that momentum on your side, and they do it. They finish it with the passing game. And I'll tell you what, heat that passing game up. You can keep this lead, keep the momentum, and keep putting up numbers.
On to attempt the try.
The kicker is on for the extra point.
And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead.
That makes the score. Texas State, 14. Louisiana, 7.
So here comes the kickoff after the touchdown, and the last thing you need right before the half is to give up a big return. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. He'll keep it himself. And he gets it just beyond the line of scrimmage before he gets down. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin and our halftime update.
All right, guys, looks like we've got a great atmosphere today in Lafayette. And a lot of coaches will say limiting the big plays and maybe hitting on a few yourself is key. But I'm more of a move the chains guy. Give me efficiency every day of the week and twice on Saturday. The offensive unit that subscribes to the less is more philosophy might be the one that leaves here today with a big fat W. And with that, let's send it back to the fellas inside Our Lady of Lourdes Stadium.
The Raging Cajuns will line up to kick off and start the second half. From inside the 10, here he comes. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Texas State gets the football back, and here comes the offense. They got plenty done through the air in the first half, and we'll see if they even need to look for balance as we start the third quarter.
Well, and I think defensively, you understand, like the running game isn't a big part of the plan. I wonder how they adjust and play more coverage to this pass-happy offense.
Yeah, so you're going to have to be ready if you're a quarterback then. You're probably going to see some different coverages. You might see a little bit more blitz in the second half as well, so you have to know where your answers are.
And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Tell you what, that was a lightning-fast decision. You could tell he knew what he wanted to do right away, makes the decision, but maybe his footwork wasn't a little bit good, and the pass wasn't where he wanted to put that thing. I know that.
They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. Jackson will throw. He hurls one deep down the left side. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers.
Third and long situations are really hard to convert. The defense knows it's going to be passed. The pass rushers are getting upfield. You're under pressure. You don't have timing. And as a result now, fourth down.
And the Bobcats line up to punt it away. This guy is a daring punt return man. He's not going to settle for the fair catch. A solid return gets a little bit of ground for the offense. Wasting no time throwing on this drive. And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38.
Middle linebackers, they're middle linebackers because they're right in the middle of the defense. You put guys that have a nose for the football because they literally line up over the football every single time. They play the run well, and look at this. How about this? Rushing the quarterback, getting him on the ground, getting the big sack.
And the Raging Cajuns have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Back to pass. Wide open downfield. He's close to the first down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
QBs, when they see these zone coverages, man, some of them panic. Some of them throw it too quickly and can make bad decisions. I like how he waited a little bit, waited for the right window, the right opportunity. There's always going to be holes in zones. I just got to be a little bit patient.
On 3rd and short, trying to impose their will and move the chains. Now with a great opportunity as they pick up the first down, they've got it at the 40.
Man, that was a good run, but it was almost even better. Great job by the offense. Keep the running game going. You get big chunks like this. Not only was that a big chunk, it also looked like it could have gone for more.
The Raging Cajuns have it with a 1st and 10. To the ground with the back. And he's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage by the big defensive tackle.
Man, nowhere to run on that play at all.
About all you can say is do better. But that's the problem. Are they able to do better?
And that's why you keep trying things, right? Keep trying to get on the perimeter, run it up the middle, try different things to see what you do well.
Sends it back in motion. To the air, it's Howard. And that pass will be jarred loose on 2nd down. That brings up 3rd down.
The big tight end tries to make a catch, and you can tell he extends for the ball, but great job by the defender getting in there, making the hit, dislodging the football out at the same time as he's going to catch it, and the big tight end couldn't hold on to it.
On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
Every defense in the country talks about getting offenses in predictable 3rd and long situations where I can bring on more speedsters and I know the pass is coming so I can have more success.
And the Raging Cajuns will send out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Opening play of this drive will come from their own 23. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Pulls it in, it's Sparks. Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling. They're out to the 35.
at the 30.
And that's a really nice route by the wide receiver, just understanding I got to win right now. I got to get inside of that guy, and I know I'm going to get contact. You run over the middle of the field on a slant, you're going to get hit. Nice job securing the catch, making the play.
Running back searching for a hole. Gets it past the first down marker and still running. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
At the 47-yard line. Good enough for a first down.
That's the end of the quarter. Texas State has the lead here. 3 quarters are in the books. Time becomes a factor both in trying to hold the lead or cut into it as we take a look at the stats. Here comes the 4th. Time to see who steps up, who makes the winning plays to take home that W. Final stand to the game, and we'll start with the first down. They'll run the ball. The clock is on their side. They make the stop at the 37, but not before he's got 10 yards and the first down. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their first of the half. He'll do it himself. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. From the gun, running back gets the give. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. The Bobcats come to the line on 3rd and short, hoping to keep the drive alive. It'll be a run on 3rd and short. He's not going to get there, and this defense really needed a stop like that.
Well, you love to see that from the defense, right? It's like bend, don't break. They've given up a bunch of plays on this drive, but now that they're getting down close to field goal range, you're seeing them start to stiffen up.
Yeah, and plays don't matter anymore. Yards don't matter. All that matters with these defenses nowadays is points and limiting them.
Tried to give it enough body English, but he missed it. And the margin is still 7 after the miss, guys.
And sometimes I just feel like 4th down, man, just go for it every time. Like the field goal miss, make rate. And listen, kickers have improved the last couple of years, but you left some points off the scoreboard there.
Back to throw, it's Howard. Takes the easy one to the back. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. The Raging Cajuns can really attack on this 2nd and short. Looking to fire. Catch in the middle, it's Robertson. Defense scoops it up, and he's headed the other way. The defense making the play to drive in the dagger with that fumble recovery, and they should be able to run out the clock. The quarterback takes a knee.